Hey everyone, Harry here to talk about the Democrats calling a hearing for September 24th, 2 weeks from today, on the ramifications of the immunity holding from the Supreme Court. Okay, so a couple things of significance here. I think the big thing here is that the chair of the Judiciary Committee is Dick Durbin, and he has been pretty reticent to dive into this issue to date. So especially Sheldon Whitehouse on the committee, but some other Democrats have been pushing him hard on proposals, on shining the light on the immunity decision and the like. And he was basically arm's length and resistant to really flexing his muscles, or the Democrats' muscles, on this, which I think indicates a kind of political calculation that it didn't make sense for the Dems to try to be up in arms about it, at least in the Senate. And that calculation now has obviously changed. It could be because of the continuing drumbeat over the immunity decision. I mean, we've seen that it's almost limitless repercussions play out again and again and again in all of Trump's cases. So, most recently, the New York case, his convictions, which are seeming, the heart of a paradigm, say, of unofficial conduct. A candidate, not yet president, paying off a porn star for hush money to keep her from revealing an affair. What could seem more unofficial than that, but still, the immunity decision is really gumming up the works. Is Trump now saying that the whole thing should go away because of the use of testimony by Hope Hicks at trial of a conversation in the Oval Office. So this is, really having legs, as it were. And I think that could have been predicted, but somehow that was brought home to Durbin. Similarly, the January 6th case, Chutkan held a hearing, and it's clear that Trump is going to try to dismiss the superseding indictment in the January 6th case because of the use of testimony in the grand jury that he asserts is immunized under the Supreme Court opinion. So that's part of what's happening, is the pushback by Trump successfully in nearly every criminal setting, invoking the Trump versus U.S. holding. But it's probably also that Durbin has been persuaded. September 24th, we're really getting into, I think it will be considered after the debate tonight that we're in the sort of traditional home stretch. And so it's a political ploy by the Dems, to put up this panel now and bring emphasis on not just the opinion, but the way in which, and I think you'll probably see this, the way in which Trump kind of ceded the Supreme Court, which then did its bidding. In other words, a more general attack on Trump for not simply what the Supreme Court did, but for his whole kind of distortion of the entire government, really, including on the Supreme Court. And then you'll also probably have Sheldon or Whitehouse, who seconds puts a strong quote in the announcement of the Judiciary Committee hearing, and he's really been the number one Democrat leading the charge on this. I think you will find wrapping up in the exploration of the implications of the immunity decision, the whole imbroglio with the ethics problems of, that come out more and more. So Thomas, we're in the millions of dollars of money he's gotten from Harlan Crow. And then just yesterday, Alito, after getting the extension he always gets on his form, revealed a payback of a loan between $250,000 and $500,000 that he simply neglected, he said, to list for 5 straight years before, it looks untenable and implausible. So you'll see, I think, Senator Whitehouse wrapping that up. And, there'll be, I could well imagine somebody like Judge Ludig, who's been very, very critical of the immunity decision, actually coming to a Talking Feds one-on-one near you. Next week will be my conversation for an hour with him. A lot of it about the immunity decision that he called an abomination. He actually placed in the ranks of Dred Scott and Plessy v. Ferguson the most notorious missteps of the court in its history. And he said in some ways the immunity decision is even worse because it's unlike those two cases that dispense grievous injustices to individual Americans. This, says Ludig, distorts the entire constitutional structure, which is the heart and soul of the constitutional scheme. It's often been remarked, including by conservatives, that it's less the guarantees in the Bill of Rights and more the whole structure of checks and balances that really constitutes the genius of the Constitution, and the immunity decision completely blows an aspect of that to bits. So, hearing coming up, shine a light, and the chair of the Judiciary, Dick Durbin, has agreed to do this, and so I think you'll hear a lot of criticism and diatribes and some pretty forceful. We'll see who the testimony comes from. It could well be Ludig and Larry Tribe, who've been kind of odd bedfellows in the last several months, joining in or really leading the chorus of outraged opposition to the immunity opinion. So stay tuned for that, and the public, the publicity around it, and we'll see whether in fact it seeps its way into as a campaign issue itself. More Supreme Court vacancies are going to be filled, and this is what Trump has done, and it's distorted our whole constitutional scheme, et cetera, et cetera. So it's going to be, for the Judiciary Committee anyway, a pretty high visibility moment, and really putting the court's abominable immunity decision on display. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.